Hey folks, and welcome to Drinking Alone with Friends, a podcast where three friends drink alone together. My name's Chris.
What up? It's Tud.
I'm Obert.
I'm Jordan.
Hey, welcome back, Jordan.
Wait, how did you get on this?
Oh my gosh, I've forgotten what it's like to talk into a microphone. This is weird.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's everything you remember it to be and more.
we knew you had the podcast itch, so.
I did, yeah. I've really been missing it. Every time I watch a really crappy movie, I'm like, what am I even doing this for anymore?
My life has no purpose.
Who am I going to tell about this?
Yeah,
who
now
am I
on you
gonna
just have
talk
to
with?
watch good movies.
Yeah, sometimes I think about putting a crappy movie on. I'm like, it's just going to be me talking to myself afterwards. No one wants
Right.
that.
That or you could adopt the Chris style and just never watch a movie ever again.
That's it. I'm done. When the podcast ended, so did my movie watching career.
I'm telling you what, it's actually kind of freeing, you know? Like, no one ever expects anything from you. They don't talk to you about things you don't care about. And you can always make fun of people for their liking superheroes and stuff.
Yeah, that's always a good thing. Like how I make fun of people who like Avatar, all three of them.
There's Avatar fans? Yeah, I wasn't. I thought it was just James
I don't think
Cameron
so.
was the only one.
Yeah.
I think it's really big internationally. That's the only thing I can imagine. Like,
I
now I say this as somebody who is actually going to go see it in the movie theater just because I remember seeing Avatar in the movie theater, liking it, and then seeing it at home was like, this is a terrible movie. So I'm hoping that the experience is the same as it was.
You're hoping you can
back
trick
in-
yourself into liking it by spending more money on the movie.
Right. Well, I just remember the technology being really cool of like the 3D in the movie theater. But I'm like, do I have rose-colored glasses on? Jordan, you have to let me know.
One's
Well,
rose
it's what-
color,
it's what-
and the other one's blue.
I feel like it's what they call the Spawn Cape Continuum now, where you remember things. I mean, it was like 11 years ago Avatar came out. If they're still using the same engine or whatever they used to make 3D for this movie, I'm like, okay, I don't know if that's going to work, James Cameron. Plus, you're a brave soul for seeing this in the theaters. It's like going to be like 3.5 hours long. That's going to be like 3 pee breaks for me. That's too much, man. I can't do that.
Listen, I've seen long movies in the movie theater before and not had to go pee. So I'm going to do it. But this one, I'm not afraid of getting up and leaving to go to the bathroom.
That's
Like-
true. When you don't care about a movie, I guess you can just go use the restroom. That's
Right.
That's true.
I just hope that, and I know I've seen a lot of 3D movies since. None of them have lived up to what I remember the original Avatar being. So I think I've got to, I'm going to be severely let down. I'm going in expecting this, but I'm in.
I feel like I don't even remember the first Avatar movie being that innovative with the 3D. The only 3D part I remember is like they had a spear or something and it like came out of the screen. And like I feel like the rest of it was like it looks normal to me. I don't know. This doesn't look that cool. Maybe I was in the wrong theater.
Maybe.
Maybe. I mean, it's those
knows?
California theaters versus those Texas theaters. You'll have to tell us.
Yeah. They don't direct you very well out there. It's like the freeway system in LA. Just you don't know where to go.
Well, I was going to ask, what is more disorienting after a long movie? When you come out of the movie theater and it's dark out or when it's light out? Like, which one is more confusing?
So for me, it's only if there's a transition while I'm in the theater.
Right.
If I go in when it's light and I come out when it's dark, disorienting. But if it's the same when I go in and out, I'm normally fine.
So dark then would be the
That's why
answer.
I always go to the movies at night.
Yeah. Dark would be the answer, I guess.
Only if it's
Sherlock
not
over here.
dark.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever been in the movies so late that I came out and it was light.
Actually, I saw Avengers Endgame. I went to a 6:30 a.m. showing, the very first showing of my theater, because I wanted to beat all the crowds and go in before work. So I did go in when it was dark and I came out when it was light. The only time in my
That's
life.
wild.
Yeah, it was crazy. I lived across the street from the theater, so I like rolled out of bed, put some clothes on, and just walked across the street and saw it at 6:30 in the morning.
Were you like the only one in the theater? Or was it just you and like some
There were
90-year-olds?
five other people in there for the whole theater. It was wonderful. It
That's
was
awesome.
opening weekend of Endgame too.
See,
crazy.
but that's a 3.5 hour movie.
Yeah, and I peed twice. I have this thing I do only when theaters aren't full where I set my phone up in the cup holder and I record the screen just in case something happens and I'm confused when I get back. I can rewatch it to be like, what happened?
Well, so not hashtag not a handle, but there is an app called like P Watch, I think is what it's called, or Just P or something like that. It's like it's a play off of Just Watch, but they do it and they tell you when to go to the bathroom.
I
Ted
need
loves these just
Yeah.
handles.
Well, I need an app that's like the just reminder for Just Pee, because I always remember about that app when I'm in the theater, the movie already starting, and I have to go to the bathroom. Like, man, if I would have looked at that website, I would have known when I can go to the bathroom.
Yeah, that's another thing. I'll get ready to. I have it on my phone, so I'll just pull it up when I'm in the movie theater and be like, all right, I can go to the bathroom now.
I need to get smart like you, man. What am I doing over here?
Jordan remembers
Just never
that
delete
app.
apps.
Remembers that app when the thing comes up on the screen telling you to silence your cell phones. That's when he thinks about it. He's like, "Oh yeah, I should have been downloaded that."
I should. Smart.
Oh, by the way, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Oh yeah,
Happy
ho, ho, ho.
Merry
holidays.
Christmas.
Yeah, this is our Christmas episode. We're recording a little bit early. I mean, we're in the Christmas spirit, but not like all the way in the Christmas spirit. Like,
I mean, it's in a couple days from now.
I haven't started panic buying gifts yet. I'm still at the point of procrastinating buying gifts.
You mean today or when this
When
episode
we're
comes
recording.
out? You
When
haven't.
we're recording.
Okay.
Yeah.
When the episode comes out, you still have time too. So if you hear the sound of our voices, go get your Christmas shopping done.
Yeah. Might be a little late for Amazon Prime, depending on where you live. But,
Just make sure you check that. Make sure it's the 1-day shipping.
yeah.
Yeah, unless you're in Montana, then you're never getting it.
Oh, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Ship it to Connecticut instead.
But yeah, we have
far away.
we have Jordan on for our very special Christmas episode, holiday special, of course. Jordan, would you like to kick us off this week? To start drinking.
Sure. Yeah, sure. I would love that. That would be great. So I have a beer here. It's an actual bottle. I very rarely get bottles these days, so this is a good one. And I honestly, so this brewery, I guess, has kind of a long stretch. I didn't realize back in the day. So Anchor Brewing Company from San Francisco, California. When I first started drinking, Anchor Steam was kind of like one of my go-to. When you think like craft breweries are the ones you're drinking, you think are like no one knows about, but then you realize they have a nationwide like production and everything. So Anchor was one of those for me. And I used to always get their Christmas beer, their Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Like every year they have a new one with a new tree on it and stuff. So I used to get that all the time. And I never really got it the past like 5 or 6 years. And I saw this at the store the other day. I was like, you know what? I want to give Anchor a shot again because they were my go-to back in the day. Let's see what their Christmas beer is like. And so this is the beer I picked, not because it's the only beer in my fridge right now, but because I totally planned ahead and decided this was a special one to do for this podcast.
Of course.
And I'm not cool like you guys. I don't have a bunch of beer in my fridge all the time. I do it like I do my shopping. I buy what I need for the next 3 or 4 days, and then I go back to the store. That's kind of how I do beer. I buy
Seems
a few.
like you're doing that wrong.
I think I am doing it wrong for sure, but I like to live a little European, I guess.
That's why his
pretend
beer is
I
always
literally
fresh, though.
Go to the store. Yeah, I literally go to the store and I know I have a fridge full of beer, and I'm like, I should just probably pick something up just in case.
Yeah,
I go on
I
a
mean,
bender or something.
What if you run out between the time you're at the store and the time you go to the store the next time?
What if there's no more beer?
Yeah.
I mean, I will say I always make sure I have a bottle of like bourbon or whiskey in the pantry, and that's always my go-to. If I don't have a beer and I feel like drinking, I'm like, I'll just drink some whiskey or some bourbon. I'm good with that. So I always make sure I'm stocked there. So I do have my backup plan, as any good alcoholic does. So this actually is a lot darker than I thought it was going to be. I've been drinking a lot of Christmas beers the past few weeks, and most of them have been like more like amber ale color, more the golden color. And this one is very, very brown. So I'm kind of excited for that. A little change of pace here. Am I allowed to drink it, or do we need to do like Real Big Fish, play that song?
Well, no, that gets done in post now.
Yes, but I mean, like, where do I just say, like, here's a beer, and then I drink it?
But you also have to do the T-Rex test.
Oh my gosh. And look at this, my brand new iPhone 14 I just got.
Ober hates this.
Over the
My favorite
weekend.
part of the show. Yeah.
So let's see. Here we go. Can we see? Is it going through? I mean, it's. I think you'll be able to see it, but you're not going to be able to tell how far away it is.
Right.
Your depth perception is going to be really bad if that is cars coming at you in the middle of the night. So
I'm
I don't know.
surprised that it's as light as it is when you put the light behind it.
Yeah.
It really shines through for how dark this looks.
It does, yeah.
I'm gonna give that 3 T-Rexes.
He might get you. He might just get you. He might just get you.
He might. Yeah. If you run to the bathroom, he'll get you. But if you go the other way, he won't. All right. So I'm gonna give this a shot and see what's going on with it.
That
Okay.
movie I know.
That.
No, that came out 30 years ago.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites. I love
That's
it.
his timeline, pretty much. So this is actually really good because I've found up with these holiday beers that are like ales with holiday spices added. They're either on two ends of the spectrum, right? Either not enough and I can't really taste it, or like you literally just drown the thing in whatever spices you threw in there and it's like way too much. This is a nice mixture because there's actually a hoppy bite to it and a malt undertone on like with the holiday spices. So it feels like you're drinking a beer with subtle holiday spices to it rather than just like in your face holiday barfed right down your throat kind of thing. So I like this. I think it's good. I think the fact that it's a little bit darker and more towards the brown ale like spectrum is probably what's going on with it. So yeah, I'm a fan. I really, really like that. They say, so Anchor Brewing from San Francisco, do you want me to read the little thing they have on here about it, or
Go for it.
do we not care about it? All right.
Go ahead.
This is the 48th from the brewers at Anchor. This ale made with natural flavors features a new recipe and tree every year, but the intent with which we offer it is the same: joy and celebration of the newness of life. Trees symbolize the winter solstice when the earth, with its seasons, appears born anew. Mary Ellen Pleasant planted blue gum trees in front of her San Francisco home in the 1800s. The home is long gone, but her landmark trees remain, a living tribute to the mother of civil rights in California. So there you go. A little background on Anchor. They do different trees every year. It's their 48th annual Christmas beer. I had no clue they've been around that long.
Yeah.
So did they use her trees?
Yes. I guess she lived on a really big property and she planted like tons of different types of trees. So the majority of the trees they pick for the front of the label are trees from that property.
Do they also brew with that tree?
I do not think
it's just
so.
a picture
No.
of the tree on the label.
Yeah, I think it's just a picture, and that's as far as they really go with it.
I was hoping that they cut off like a branch and threw some of it in the beer.
No, that would be a cool gimmick, but no, they're not getting that crazy with it over there. You would think in San Francisco they would, but they're not. No, so yeah,
Crazy.
I like
Get,
this.
get better, San Francisco.
Yeah.
I expect better.
Californians, the worst. Yeah, so that's good. I like it. It brings back memories because I did used to drink this like every year. It's kind of how, what is that, Sierra Nevada has their celebration IPA or whatever every year. This
Yeah.
was kind of like that for me, but I fell off the wagon for a little bit. So yeah, it's good stuff. I don't think I'd say it's my favorite, but it's definitely on the like higher end scale. I'd give it like a 4, I think.
Okay. Is
Where-
it like your favorite Christmas beer?
No, I don't think it's my favorite Christmas beer. I think there's some out there I like more, but it's probably like in a higher middle of it's upper middle class of Christmas beers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But mostly for the nostalgia factor.
I think that's probably what's happening. A little bit of nostalgia is falling in there, and kind of giving rose-colored taste buds. So yeah, I think that's kind of helping a little bit there. Okay, so Untapped.
Oh, so we got
Yeah,
to tell
so
you
they're-
how many check-ins there are.
Yeah, and I think this is one of the times we have to do a yearly variant since
So
it does change every year.
So I have it pulled up. This year's, the 2022 version, only has 3,232 check-ins. So
Okay.
it's not a lot, but I understand that it's for this season. So maybe some people like you are drinking it today or between now and Christmas, hopefully.
Yeah. I don't know. I think this beer only came out like a month ago, maybe is when it was released. So yeah, I don't think people have had a long time to really dig into it yet. But I'm gonna say this is one of those ones where I think Anchor is gonna be one of those ones where like the normies are kind of rating a lot, which could go one of two ways, right? Like they can either rate it too low, so like this doesn't taste like my Blue Moon, my craft beer I like, or it could go the opposite way, where like, wow, this is amazing. I think there's going to be a little bit of hype here only for the people that seek this out. So I think it's going to be a little bit higher. I think I'm going to hit like a little bit higher than what I've rated. I think I'm going to go like a 4.04.
I like that guess.
Yeah, me too.
So it's actually under
Oh, man.
to 3.79.
Oh, my gosh.
wow,
That's
pretty
really
low.
low. Okay,
Yeah.
so crap. I thought this was going
Follow
to
the
have a bit of
presses.
hype pushing it up a little bit. Okay, well, man, I really overshot that.
It's okay. Obrick got a point last or two. Obrick got
Well,
a point
he got
last
a point
episode.
last
was,
week,
he was way off. I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah,
he was
so-
way off,
I
but I
wasn't
mean, when you don't have any
0.25
competition,
off.
you win it all.
Yeah.
Oh, man, so that was a fail, but, that's fine. I think Jenna's done worse, so I'm happy.
Yeah. There you go. Not the worst gifts you've ever had on this show, you know?
No,
Yeah.
no, definitely not. Definitely not.
You didn't put it this way. You didn't lose a point.
No, I didn't go that bad. But yeah, that's good. That's my guess. So there you go. Anchor, go check it out, or don't, I guess, because it doesn't have great reviews.
I do eventually want to try their Anchor Steam.
Anchor
that's a
Steam,
goal.
dude, I love Anchor Steam. I think it's a super tasty go-to beer. Like, I love finding those ones just when you're out anywhere that's like available everywhere. Because in California it was always available. Yep, I know I'm gonna like that. It's good stuff. It's tasty. It's light.
I'm surprised you haven't had it, Tud. I thought you could find it in Connecticut. No?
I mean, I don't. Maybe you can, but I've never seen it. I finally had that other one, Pliny the Elder, and Obert was right. He kind of let me know that it was not going to be as good as I was expecting it to be. It kind of tasted like a main lunch in my experience. So I have some hope for Anchor Steam, but
How fresh was the bottle you got?
It was on tap at a bar in Portland, Maine.
Well, then there you go. I mean, you can't get fresher than that,
Right.
I guess. I've always thought Pliny the Elder wasn't that great myself. The only Russian River I've always thought has been a little overhyped, in my opinion. Even though I've gone to 3 different Pliny the Younger events, I kind of just do it to hang out with people. But I've always thought they've been a little overhyped.
Regarding Anchor Steam, I feel like it's about as good as you would expect the first craft beer ever to be. You know, it's like Boston Lager was a craft beer. It's like, same idea.
Okay.
That sounds like a nice way of Obert being like, no, that beer sucks, but I don't want to hurt Jordan's
No,
feelings.
I like Anchor Steam. We don't get Anchor in Montana, but I do want to seek out that Christmas one because it did sound pretty yummy with the brown ale with
it's
Christmas,
cool.
Christmassy flavors.
I'll tell you, the best Anchor beer I ever had was just their regular porter, which is really hard to find. But I thought that was like one of the best porters I ever had. So if you ever see that, give it a shot. But it's really hard to find.
I love brown. I mean, I'll try everything. So I'm in.
Right.
I'm in no matter what. And I love porters. I love browns. So I'm sold.
Definitely
There you go.
top 3 favorite colors of beer.
Yes.
All shades of brown, I think.
I had a green beer the other day that was made with Gatorade as the base instead of water. So, I mean,
Ooh.
that was a trip.
Yeah.
That's not in the top 3 colors.
No. Mm-mm. No.
Did you feel like rehydrated or anything?
I mean, I felt patriotic, so it was called Freedom Aid. So, I mean, it felt like I could go
very
fight
Texas.
a war or something. But yeah, no, it tasted exactly like carbonated Gatorade. It was super strange, super weird. I would recommend everyone give it a shot once and no more than that.
Worth the experience of trying.
I mean, it was the best color. It was green Gatorade, so of course.
I think it was blue Gatorade. It just turned green because of
it just got ruined.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Ugh.
Okay, so who's drinking
Yeah.
next here? Chris or Tud? What do you got?
Yeah. Let me go. I'll get mine.
Okay.
Mine's warming up a little bit.
I put my glass in the fridge because it wasn't going to be cold enough.
Damn.
That frosty mug over here.
I know. Got a Goldilocks beer
How are the
situation.
turntables.
Yeah, I used to go to a place called Schooners. There was like this really like trashy patio bar in where I used to live, and they would always bring like a frosty mug that your beer was in, but then it would like ice the top, and you could never really taste it. And I was always like, why is this what you guys do? I had to always request a non-frosted mug so I could taste my beer. It was so weird.
You're not supposed to frost your mugs.
No, but I was like, and they didn't just serve like crappy beers. They had 40 beers on tap, the majority of them being like really good stuff from local breweries. So I was like, you're not trying to hide the fact you only have like Coors and Bud. I don't know what you're doing here.
Okay, so Todd, what do you got for us?
Yeah, so my beer this week is it's a German beer, and it's called Teisnacher 1543. It's a Festmarzen, traditionally Braukunist. As you can tell, I don't speak German, but this comes out of for Christmas this year, I bought a beer advent calendar.
Oh.
So
Nice.
the entire beer advent calendar is German beers. So this
Nice.
is This is today's Advent calendar beer.
Well, they actually can beers in Germany. I feel like I only ever see bottled beers out of Germany. Yeah, that's crazy.
The entire thing is it's 24 cans of beer. They're slightly bigger than 16 ounces. They're 500 milliliter cans, and they're all traditional German beers. So from an overall different style Advent calendar, it's not the most creative beer Advent calendar I've ever seen. But from a uniqueness of beers that I've never gotten to try, it's really cool because there's so many German beers that we don't get in the United States unless you get them out of a beer Advent calendar apparently. And this one is a little bit different because this is a Festmarzen, whereas the past couple days have all been Helles style beers. So
bringing a little bit of Oktoberfestapalooza to Christmas.
Yeah, well, it's supposed to be a Christmas Festmarzen, but I don't really understand how that works. I will say this: so far, about halfway through the beer Advent calendar, right? I don't know how the Germans do it. All their beer kind of tastes the same. If you own one brewery or you go to one brewery in Germany, I think you've tried all German beer because none of it really strays outside of the little box that they put the beer in. That's been my review so far of the beer Advent calendar, but I have had a few that have kind of stuck out. I had one was an export lager, and one was a stout, which was interesting because I didn't know Germans made a stout, but they sent one over. But a lot of it has been Helles, so I'm excited to bring this Festmarzen, which is the first Festmarzen I've seen in the box. So, if you guys would like, I would like to drink this beer as my Christmas beer.
Yeah, I have no objections.
We'll allow it.
It comes from an Advent calendar.
Yeah, that's Christmassy. So, being halfway through the Advent calendar, have you any breweries that you know, or have they all been like just unknown breweries to you?
All been unknown breweries.
Wow, okay.
Which is interesting because I didn't know Germany had that many breweries either.
Yeah, they had just Spaten, Hofbrau, and like one other one.
I figured that it was
not known
Paulaner. I figured it was like the major breweries. They just were everywhere. But these are all like little breweries. I will tell you this: the cans are very interesting. This one is kind of a plain can. It's just kind of a green or blue can with some wording. But like, there's little like German guys on cans and little like elves and stuff. It's really cool. And I'm like, it's almost like how they sell their beer over there because there's no difference in what the beer is it's all based on the label of the can. Has been my takeaway so far.
It tastes different based off the label, yes. It's kind of like M&Ms, right? The red ones are better.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Blue ones are better.
Blue ones are newer.
They're my favorite M&M color.
The brown ones are the best because they have the least amount of dye to them.
Isn't brown what they replaced blue with?
They don't have brown anymore?
No, I think they still have brown.
Okay.
I think green was what they replaced brown with for a little while, but I think they brought brown back. They're bringing brown back.
Yeah. All right, so
nice
it looks
color.
looks like your traditional Marzen, amber in color. I put it. Speaking of Sam Adams, I put it in my Sam Adams glass. The T-Rex test shows that it glows it lights up like a globe. So you'll probably be able to dodge a T-Rex in there.
I don't know about that. I think a T-Rex is seeing you.
I don't know. I can't see you through it. So as long as I don't move and don't drown in the beer, I think I'm good.
Okay.
Is this supposed to be a test on the viscosity of beer? Is that what we're doing here?
No idea.
Jordan,
Okay.
I try and figure it out every week, and I don't know.
You know what? I think it's the best gimmick ever because I can hear Obert's disdain getting more and more every week through his silence. And I love it. Don't ever get rid of this, please. Do not. If you get rid of it, we will riot.
I like it. It's good feedback. So I was gonna say too, because I brought this glass over. So I know a couple months ago I had mentioned that somebody randomly had sent me random Sam Adams glasses that I don't know where they came from. They came from some random address in New York City. Still, to this day, don't know who sent them to me. But I will say something about those glasses compared to this here Sam Adams glass. They're much smaller. So you cannot fit a 500 milliliter beer in there. You can't even fit a 16-ounce can of beer in there. So they're the most worthless Sam Adams glasses because you can't buy a can anymore that's like below 16 ounces, except for like a Bud Light or a Busch Light or whatever. So I still want to know who sent them to me, but I also want to know why are they smaller.
You could fit a bottle of
I have
Sam
a question
Adams in
for
there.
you. Do you know, is the town from New York Oneonta?
No, it came from Queens.
Okay, never mind then. I know people in Oneata that have a podcast who might listen to your podcast too, because they listen to ours and I used to mention it and the stuff. So like I thought maybe it was them just trying to be funny and sending you really tiny Sam Adams glasses.
Well, I mean, if it's them, thank you. But I'm also kind of concerned as to how they got my home address.
Yes, that is concerning a little bit.
I just post it all the time now.
Yeah.
I just like send
It's the strangest thing. And nobody has admitted to me how I got these glasses.
Now,
Isn't Captain America from Queens?
could be him.
Maybe.
Maybe it's him. We know he time travels.
It's true. He went forward in time to send them back to me.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, he's about to ask you what your address is.
All right, so let's dive into this here Festmarzen. On the nose, smells like a standard Festmarzen. It's actually pretty good. It's a little bit more malty than like your normal like Spaten Fest beer or your Paulaner or your Hofbräu. But in a good way. It's kind of a little bit more biscuity, which is nice. It's also super cold, which is delicious and refreshing.
But not in a frosted mug. No ice particles on top.
No ice particles on top.
Good.
No, this is a really good Festmarzen. If I saw this out in public, I would definitely think about ordering this again. I am a big fan of the German Fest beer, so I like it. Not much. I mean, there's not much really to go into on the taste of a Festmarzen, except for this one tends to be more maltier than the others that I've had.
So before I ask you to rate it on a scale of 0 to 5, I want you to rate it on a scale of 1 to 13, where 1 is the best beer of the Advent calendar you've had so far, and 13 is the worst.
Sure. 13 is the worst. So I'm going to rate this one as probably a 3.
Third best you've had.
Nice.
Yeah, I think, the first, I mean, all the Helles, I'll label all of them all together. But they're stout,
tied for 6th.
the stout that I had was really good, and the export lager that I had was really good. And that's kind of where I was hoping that this one would go. But this one is just your standard, it's a standard Fest beer. But it is pretty cool to try it. I kind of wish it had some Christmas flavors to it, but I know that's against German purity beer laws, so they wouldn't do that. But overall, yeah, I would say third best so far.
Now, for your listeners out there who are ignorant and don't know these things, because I totally do, but I'm only asking for them, what is an export lager? Like, is that just a lager that's exported? Like, it's just, or is there something different that classifies it in the flavor profile?
It's a good question. It was a little bit hoppier.
Okay.
It was kind of along the lines of like a maltier West Coast IPA, which I found really interesting.
So I'm assuming it's named in the logic of like the whole where IPAs came from. Like, okay, because we're exporting it, we have to put it a little bit maltier in this case.
I don't know.
Okay.
I know in this situation that's what made it unique to me was that it was a little bit hoppier. Because most of the export lagers I've had, I think have been from like England. Which
it's fun.
I did
like
think it was an English style, yeah.
Well, I was going to say, you can't really call it an export lager unless it comes from the export region of England, right? That's what makes it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to go with that one, yes. But I guess they exported it from Germany to here, so it kind of counts. I don't know. It was very unique. It was almost like it should have been an IPA, and it wasn't.
Interesting.
I thought it was really interesting, and I was like, oh, that was like day 2, by the way. So I was like, this is going to be a really interesting box if there's cool stuff like this throughout this box. And predominantly, it's been Helles-style beers the entire time, with these little, fun mixes in every now and then.
You come for the export lager, you stay because the rest is beer. That's how they get you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. I will say that it is, I do not drink a beer every day. So having to go through these 24 days of drinking beer, you get a little overwhelmed with these beers. Like all of a sudden you're like, oh, it's almost time for me to go to bed. I haven't had my beer today. Time for me to drink my beer. Because like in the morning, I always remember to open the box is big. It's a big box. It holds 24 beers. So it can't just fit in the fridge. So every morning I have to remember to open the box, take the can out and stick it in the fridge so it's cold by nighttime. Really easy to do to remember in the morning because it's sitting on my counter, but really difficult at night to remember, oh, hey, I stuck a beer in the fridge because there's other beers in the fridge already. So it kind of, it's kind of getting lost in the shuffle.
24 is a lot, man. I've done a beer advent calendar that was 12, and I think that's way more like approachable because then you can do it every other day and you're good.
As somebody who's on day 13, It's probably a better idea for it to be a 12-day advent calendar.
Kind of like is the point. Like that's not like the point of an advent calendar. I guess unless you waited until like December 13th to start it.
Right, like the 12 days of Christmas.
Okay, I thought you would do like every other or something like that. No, I got you now. Yeah.
I did every other. I did every
I like
other
it.
because
I don't
knew
understand the
couldn't
point of the
handle
advent
everything.
calendar at all. I don't really get it. I just know that.
Well, the Advent thing is from a religious thing that we've now turned into a commercial thing to have chocolates that we can eat every day. So,
Gotcha. I do prefer this over eating one piece of chocolate every day, though.
agreed. Totally agree with that.
Where's the 365-day advent calendar? What's next?
Get ready for next year.
I will say that I am excited for, like, I will try to look up for another one next year to see if I can find a different style of beer. I didn't see any breweries around me that did them. I think 12% would be a perfect type of brewery to do one of these. But they didn't do it. So I got this one from Costco. It cost like $70. So
Well, I was gonna say you come out here, Tud. So you know Tup's Brewery, right, in the Dallas area.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
So they do an advent calendar, and I was super excited because it's 12 of them, and I was like, "This is awesome! I'm gonna get it." But it's the same beer, just a 12-pack in an advent calendar with a different label on it.
That's so lame.
Yeah,
That's
when I found
weird.
that out, I was like, "Get rid of that. They don't need that."
The only thing that 12% does is they do a 12-day of Christmas box where it's
So
just 12, but they don't call it an
way
advent
different.
calendar, and it doesn't have like this advent calendar, like every day, like I open up like day 13, day 14. This is like, here's a box, it's wrapped as a present. When you open it up, all the beers are there. And it's like, that's not fun. It's a cool box. I bought one. I mean, don't get me wrong. I bought 12 beers.
I mean, it's not great, but I bought it.
Right. And it's a mixture of 12 different beers from all of the different breweries. They try to not repeat a brewery.
Why don't you just like cut out like
Get a
hole?
blindfold. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then just cut a
Reach
hole
one
above
and
one.
listen.
Listen,
Have
guys, I'm
someone
already
rewrap
pot
every
committed to
beer.
this one for this year.
Yeah, but it sounds like this other one could be better.
You got about 12 days from right now. Go buy it now. 2
true.
beers a day.
It's true. I guess I could have bought 2 boxes. Then I would have
Or
24
yeah.
beers.
You just tell you what, build yourself a shelf and have Caitlin just randomly put beers in there. Make your own advent calendar throughout the whole year. Who cares? It doesn't have to be summer advent calendar.
I do
Who
have
cares?
enough beers to do this.
Do the
Like, do you have a wine rack? You have a wine rack, don't you? You could just use that.
Or save your
put
box.
Like a, yeah.
And refill your box with new beers. That's what my wife did for me the second year after the advent calendar. She went and bought beers knowing nothing about beers and then refilled the box, and it was a fun time
That
seeing
does
what
sound
she
fun.
picked out.
See,
That would be pretty
There you
cool.
go. There you go.
Yeah.
These are good ideas.
You could do the 24 days of President's Day. Count them down.
I think what I'm learning here is that I have an opportunity to actually make my own beer advent calendar and sell it every year and make a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
There's no laws on that.
Except, yeah, I don't know if it's
Sounds
allowed to
legit.
resell beer like that, but
Pretty sure it is.
I think
listen,
you get through
don't
the
piss
loop.
me off, or else you're gonna get cold the entire time, and you're gonna get like Natty Lights, all 24 beers.
The loophole is that they can't see what is in the box when they're buying it, so it's totally illegal.
Hey, you want $30 for this box of whatever it might be?
I need to see your ID before I sell it to you, though.
That box could be anything. It could even be a boat.
It could even be an advent calendar of beer.
All right, I got it pulled up on Untapped here. The
Okay.
Teissnacher 1543 Festmarsen 2022. 60
Oh, I didn't see
check-ins.
2022 on here.
Well, I hope it's not last year's advent calendar.
I mean, it expires March 2024, so
Oh my gosh.
Brewed to celebrate the 475th anniversary of the brewery.
Jesus.
Well, what did you think
It's
the
next
number,
year's
the
advent calendar.
1543 meant?
You know, no idea.
Makes sense.
It's Germany. They got old breweries there.
And they haven't updated their equipment since then.
I mean,
They've
it's
been
pretty
using
good
the
brewing
same
equipment.
brew
I'm not gonna
kettle
lie.
for 500 years. So there's 60 check-ins.
That's not a lot.
It's not a lot, but have you been checking in the rest of these? Because I'm assuming
I've-
it's you and 59 other people all checking these in. You're probably getting to figure out their taste
No,
of beer.
there's been a good amount of people checking in the beers.
Well, they're slowing down apparently.
Yeah, this that confuses me. Or they haven't just drank theirs today, which is
Yeah.
even stranger. Huh. I have no idea where to go. So first of all, I need to give you my rating, right?
Oh yeah, we might have skipped over that.
I'm gonna give it a 3.75. Good Fest Marzen. Solid representation of the brand. 3.75. I'm gonna say I think Untapped will probably be somewhere near me, right? So 3.81.
Good, you're in the ballpark. You're right. It's close to what your rating was. It's a 3.68. So a little low, but
That is a little low.
Yeah, I've been having some low beers so far.
And I have noticed that a lot of the box that I've had has been in kind of like the 3.75 range. So I kind of had that going for me.
Yeah.
But this one's probably the lowest of the box so far, which is strange because it's definitely not the worst beer of the box. Maybe people just don't like Fest Marzens. Maybe they're angry because it's an Oktoberfest beer that they gave to you on the 13th of December.
Yeah,
know.
I've seen reviews of these Costco advent calendar like wine or beer things, and they're like, yeah, they just found 24 very generic and stuff and threw them in. So
yeah, it's. I think it's probably just trying not to piss off the crowd that's buying it, not trying to blow anybody's socks off. I will find Here's my commitment. I'm gonna find a better beer advent calendar. I will find one.
good luck. There's not a lot of them out there, I think.
No, it's very hard to find. That's why I was so excited when I saw it at Costco. I was like, yeah, let's go. And now I'm like, meh. Now I got to finish
Sam's
it.
Club.
Yeah,
There you go.
go.
I don't know if you guys have this. I know you don't have it in Texas. I don't know if you have it in California. Maybe BJ's has it. Who knows?
The restaurant, the brewery restaurant.
No, BJ's is another. It's another wholesale club out here on the East Coast.
Ah, gotcha.
All right, I'm gonna get
That's
mine.
very weird. Now there's a BJ's next to a BJ's in my town.
Oh man,
Huh.
It's like a 13-year-old's dream.
I like that one.
Yeah, I go for the low-hanging fruit. That's what I do.
All right, I'm gonna jump in here with my drink. I don't know what happened when I left, but I'm back now.
Do you know what happened when you were gone? Drugs happened.
Happened apparently. So
Actually, when you re-listen, you'll realize what happened when you're gone.
that's the fun part.
We were unsupervised.
That's the fun part of listening whenever I leave. It's like they always have a little special message for me in the edit, But it is time for my annual Christmas Obert Eggnog.
Oh.
Listeners who listened to last
Is that a little
year's
cinnamon
episode,
on there?
we'll get there. We'll get there, Ted. But yes, it is.
Or is it nutmeg?
We'll get there when we get there. But listeners will remember I made some eggnog last year, let it sit for 3 weeks, and it was good. And I said, next year, I'm going to make it earlier. So this year, made it beginning of September. I've had this baby cooking for 3 solid months in the fridge. Just those flavors melding and mellowing out and just aging to perfection. So this is the Alton Brown eggnog recipe. I did more or less the same thing I did last year. Brought it back again this year.
Now, what is eggnog actually? Like, what are the ingredients if you're making your eggnog and letting it sit in the fridge like that? Like,
yeah. So I
Straight
guess
eggs.
a nog was a traditional type of I don't even know what you call it. Just a drink, I guess, a traditional holiday drink. And what is in this eggnog is just basically raw eggs, dairy, and booze. And
That has been in this fridge since September.
yeah. And I think the booze helps it not curdle and also probably won't get salmonella is my understanding of the process. Exactly. Not
You gotta
too
like that
sure.
probably
Yeah,
tossed in there.
I'm sure it's fine.
Potentially not.
I've-
gonna
it's
get
Alton Brown,
salmonella.
you're good.
Yeah, I've given it to other people. They've drank it already and said it was great, and so they didn't get sick. So they were my test subjects. But
Here, drink this. If you die, I don't want to drink it. I'll pour it out.
But this is the recipe for a full batch. It's a dozen eggs, a full pound of sugar, a teaspoon of nutmeg, a pint of whole milk, half and half, and heavy cream, and a cup of cognac. And then this is where I took my spin on it. This calls for a cup of bourbon. I used the Screwball peanut butter whiskey as my bourbon, and a cup of Jamaican rum. I did 2/3 of a cup of the Mount Gay spiced rum and 2/3 a cup of Captain Morgan gingerbread. just to give it that little Christmas kick. And I like it a little rum heavy. So that's all went in there. And quarter teaspoon of salt. You need that with the full pound of sugar.
Just to round it out.
Yeah. You separate the eggs and then you temper it on the stove with the sugar. Just kind of beat it until it gets like ribbony. And then you mix in the dairy and the booze and put it in the fridge for a while. This is right from the website I'm reading. It says, store in the fridge for a minimum of 2 weeks. A month would be better, and 2 better still. In fact, there's nothing that says you couldn't age it a year, but I've just never been able to wait that long. And yes, you can also drink it right away. So, been waiting obviously months for this episode to bust this out. I got a few more saved away, but this is officially the start of my Christmas season. So, cheers, guys.
So are you going to make this a perpetual batch now and kind of turn next year's batch out of this year's batch and kind of have the same eggnog kind of live on in infamy inside your one batch of eggnog forever?
No, I think you don't want it to expose to air. Like, I think once you make it, I want to seal it in jars and then not let it out of the sealed containers till it's ready to drink.
Gotcha.
No mother nog.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I don't think that would really do much.
I'm curious how this gingerbread rum and peanut butter whiskey are mixing together, because it sounds theoretically like it should work.
Yeah. And I put a
What's
little
on
bit
top?
of nutmeg and, you were right, cinnamon.
It's not paprika? Oh, man.
Not paprika.
Really missed opportunity to add some color to that by adding paprika.
Yeah, I reached for the chili powder and I was like, nah, not today.
Not this time.
But so far, first impressions, it's very smooth.
So you're going to bring some of this back to me, right?
It has. I would love to. I would love nothing more, but it has to stay under constant refrigeration. So couldn't really find a way to make that work.
They do make refrigerated trucks that you could rent.
Yeah.
There you go.
Airplane cargo spaces are pretty cold.
Yeah, but then it's like, how long is it in the baggage handling area and all that? I don't want to mess with it. So I would love to make you a batch. Maybe when I'm home for Christmas, I'll make you a batch and just you have to wait till next year to
I have to age it for a year.
Yeah. Yeah, the cinnamon and nutmeg on top is good, but it's really overpowering the nog flavors. This does taste a lot like a nog you would get at the store. Super rich, super creamy. I was worried it was going to be a little too boozy, but this one actually is mellowed out quite nicely. You could get really drunk on this without realizing how much is in here. I mean, I have a little 8-ounce container I poured into here. I mean, there's got to be like 500 calories in this glass. It's just sugar and fat and booze. So what's not to like?
It's all the best parts of life.
Exactly.
Sugar and fat and booze.
The 3 food groups.
This is really good. The only thing I did different than last year was age it longer. I want to keep having it on the podcast every year, but I don't want to do anything different. I think I want to just keep making the same batch because I think the proportions are perfect. Jordan, you mentioned the gingerbread and the peanut butter. I really don't get a lot of either of them. It's hard because the gingerbread is going to blend so much in with the toppings I put on with the little spices. The peanut butter, I think, helps develop that richness, but it's already so rich with the the cream and the sugar and all that stuff. So
That makes sense.
it's just an amazing beverage that really gets me in the holiday spirit. Obert 5 out of 5 cocktail as always, but so it's maybe like 5.5. I don't know.
I like it. I'm going to have to try either making it or I will force you to be my eggnog slave when you're back home to have you make it.
Yeah, it's not hard to do. You can do it in like an hour. It's just like, especially if you have a stand mixer, to just beat the eggs and just beat the sugar into it. That's really all it takes.
I do have one of those, but you don't have to do it on the stove.
You do, I guess you don't. You know what? There's some recipes that involve heating the eggs. This one, I'm looking back at it now and trying to think what I did 3 months ago. There is no heat applied. Yeah, just cold ingredients mixed together. So one thing I did do that wasn't in this instructions was I poured it through a sieve to kind of get a little bit of the like egg chunks, like some of the egg yellow had turned like a little bit chunky. Only like 2 or 3 little chunks though. It wasn't anything like gross. But yeah, that would be one tip I would change to the Alton Brown recipe, which we will put on the in the show notes, of course. Now, Chris, I know last year you had mentioned you had never had eggnog. Is that still the case?
Yes, that is correct.
Not even eggnog flavored jelly bean or candy or anything?
Nope. I'm eggnog. I'm an eggnog virgin.
I really want you to try it because I really want to know if you would like it.
I think
my answer is
how
I think
could
it's
he
no.
not? It's like liquid
it's
cake.
no.
How do you not?
He doesn't
like
like
it?
cheese.
Well, it's funny because eggnog is like the cilantro thing, right? You either love it or you hate it. There's no middle ground. That's
But Jordan,
the thing.
See,
he doesn't like cheese.
I think, Jordan,
Well-
I think eggnog is like tequila, which is everybody likes it until that one time they have too much.
You let it sit in the Wally mug.
little
Christmas
too long.
vacation a little too long.
Yeah. Everybody has, likes it until they have that one story.
I can see that. That's pretty accurate.
Some people, it's when they're 7 and they're drinking like the non-alcoholic eggnog and they're like, this stuff is great. And about glass number 3, they realize why.
The little tummy can't handle it anymore.
Jordan, have you ever had any alcoholic eggnog, made your own?
No, I have not. I'm actually not the biggest fan of it. I've had like non-alcoholic growing up. But like I always thought it was fine when I was a kid. But then when I got to an adult, I was just kind of like, I don't know. I never really liked it that much, so I haven't really continued to try and drink it or anything.
Right.
So every now and then there'll be like a candy or something where I'm like, oh yeah, that's pretty good. Maybe I'll give it a shot again. And I just never get around to actually giving it a shot again.
Yeah.
Have you had coquito?
No, what is coquito?
So it's like I think it's
Puerto Rican eggnog.
Yeah, it's Puerto Rican eggnog. It's in my opinion, I like it better than normal eggnog. It's actually made. It's instead of Obert's recipe, there's no eggs in coquito. It's more made with coconut cream.
See, then I would probably like that better because the whole egg thing is what grosses me out with eggnog anyway. So I'd probably like coquito better. I've always felt too like I think I've just kind of grown out of these like thicker, creamier drinks because I used to like horchata too, and I'm not really that big a fan of that anymore either. So I think my taste buds are kind of slightly changing a little bit where I'm like, I don't know, I'm just gonna let it live in the past instead of ruining it in the future kind of thing.
Gonna move on from it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, you have a fond memory, just leave it there.
Yeah, why mess with that,
That's fair. I like making a big batch of this and then giving out little containers of it to my local friends and be like, here, little holiday treat for you. It's fun to have homemade gifts and I like making drinks. So
see, speaking of the advent calendar, there's probably no eggnog advent calendars out there. You make 12 different batches. Get all that.
Oh, but it sounds like a business opportunity.
That's like a how to put on 20 pounds between December 1st and New Year's.
I can hear Mark Cuban ready to invest in this, guys.
Yeah.
Let's go.
It sounds good, except for I think we'd have to kill a small. I mean, think about the eggs. It's just 12 eggs. How much did you get out of 12 eggs?
You end up adding. Geez, how much does it yields 8 to 10 servings? So
Ooh,
we would
that's
kill
it? For 12 eggs.
We would kill a tiny army or a big army of chicken eggs in order to sell this commercially.
Yeah, I imagine you filled up like just a giant jug of this stuff.
Yeah, well the recipe calls for only using the yolks and you don't use the whites at all. I think I ended up using 4 whole eggs and then 8 just the yolks. So I added this is another change I made this year is I added more yolk or more egg white in.
What does that do?
I think it just gives it
probably more creamy, right? Like it gives a little bit of a nicer texture.
Yeah, I would think, when you think of like an egg white beverage, it's like a little foamier, and plus it goes a little further too. So I figured give it a shot. I don't really notice a big difference, but how could you with 4 egg whites compared to a pound of sugar?
Yeah, I was going to say that pound of sugar is really holding it together.
Yeah.
Over there.
I think next year you should try to do it with 12 whole eggs. Don't separate it at all.
Well, there are recipes, and I mentioned this when I talked about the recipe last year. Is that like you Google this and I started reading a bunch of recipes and like let's say I looked at 7 recipes, 6 of them are like about the same, and then Alton Brown is over here on his own as like the only one who doesn't heat it and the only one who uses just the egg yolks. So I'm like, it's definitely a different take on eggnog than I think most of the other nog recipes out there. But maybe for the advent calendar next year, we do some coquito, horchata, like you said, whatever. We just start filling it up with creamy drinks for
one of them
24
will
days.
be like it'll be like what is that, like King's Cup, where you have like the crap at the end. One of them's just gonna be mayonnaise with watered down, so it looks like eggnog.
No,
and then you got to play roulette to see when you get that one on the day.
No way. I hate
Listen,
this idea.
Mark Cuban, if you want to get on this business idea, you know how to get in touch with us, or somebody does because they know my address. So.
Yeah. Maybe does Mark Cuban live in Queens?
Maybe.
I think he's like your neighbor.
Oh, you're right. He probably is.
All right, well, cheers. Merry Christmas. 5 out of 5. And it looks like no tally mark for me tonight, but the board is still kind of open for Chris.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
You know, he was gone. He's back. He's ready to rock and roll.
He doesn't get to play, though, because he doesn't have a Christmas beer.
No, it's definitely
what do you got?
Christmassy.
What do you got for us, Chris?
It's definitely Christmassy, because what's everybody's favorite part about Christmas?
Muffins.
Mistletoe?
No, not muffins. We changed.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to say after
The star.
Christmas.
Thanks for trying,
Presents.
though. Thanks for
Sorry.
Presents, yes. Presents, gifts, yes. And this was a gift from a dear friend, Obert.
Okay.
You know, there's other times of the year where you get gifts, right?
Yeah,
Never.
I know, but my birthday's in March. It's not in December. So
This is from March?
No, this was from a few months ago, but still, it counts. I could tell it was made for Christmas. I had this beer on the podcast last year. Last year? I think it was last year. And it was so good, Obert sent me this year's version. And
I wrote on the
black-
label, "Do not drink until Christmas."
Until Christmas episode, yeah. He said it's right. He wrote it in black Sharpie, so you can't really see it on the camera. But it's the Deschutes Brewery Black Butte 34, their Imperial Porter. I love this beer last year, so thank you for my Christmas present.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Chris.
Totally worth it. And I'm using my new Jester King bottle opener that we
That's
bought
pretty
when
cool.
we were down there. It's a pretty neat one. So
That's the
Jester
one
King.
regret. I did not buy any like physical merchandise from them. I just bought beer to bring home.
See, I brought like a small mixed 4-pack home, but I didn't bring anything else.
Yeah,
and
I made
Jester King was not a part of it, so
Oh, no, I made a mixed 4-pack at Jester King and brought that home.
yeah. Their stuff was really so the only problem. Sorry, going on a tangent again, but the only thing with Jester King is I went right after the meat buffet, and that was just too much.
Yeah.
Too much. It's too much.
Jordan,
I had
have
to
you
take a- I had
have
to
you
take a
been to
meat
Jester
nap.
King?
I have not been to Jester King, no.
It's very good. Very good.
The one time I've been to Austin, we didn't really do breweries. Actually, the one time I went to Austin was when that shooting happened at a club, so a lot of things were kind of closed.
Oh.
So it was kind of a little bit of a weird trip.
Well, I
We're
do
supposed to
recommend
talk about
Jester
that.
King when you get out there.
I know. I need to go back. It's not far. It's
Yeah.
only like 3 hours away, so I need to go back.
I know. I was there, and I was like, man, I don't know anybody in Texas. And I was like, no, wait, I know one person in Texas.
Yeah, you were like, you don't live in Austin, do you?
And then,
Unfortunately,
lo and behold,
no. Nope.
no. I was like, damn. Okay, well, maybe next time.
Well, when you're in Dallas.
But next time. When I'm in Dallas, yeah, we're going to see the Cowboys or whatever. I don't know. But here it is. Darkest Night. The head is it's small but lingering. Nice lacing on the glass. I mean, smells amazing. I love these. This beer last year was one of the highlights of my beer drinking, I think. Brewed with chocolate, coffee, vanilla, milk sugar, and aged in bourbon barrels. It just sounds amazing.
A pound of milk sugar.
Yep. In every 12
This is
bottle.
eggnog. This is beer eggnog, okay?
I like it because it's their annual release. They do it on their anniversary, and the brewery is the same age that the three main co-hosts are. So it's like,
Why did I think that Black Butte was not an annual thing? I thought they had do they have a normal
That's
version
impressive
of
that
it?
it's
They do.
completely
Yeah.
Okay.
completely light.
Oh yeah, yeah. There's nothing. There's nothing coming through this
through.
beer. Nothing coming through this beer.
Dang, that is tar. Yeah, we forgot to do the eggnog.
yeah, yeah.
The eggnog
It's,
looks pretty thick too.
That beer is as dark as eggnog.
No, it's dark. Dark. But yeah, here it is. I hope it lives up to what I remember it being. It was, I mean, last year spectacular, or it was either last year or the year before. I can't remember now. But yeah, it was spectacular last year. Let's see if it holds up. It smells good. Golly, so good. And I let it warm up, so it's like perfect drinking temperature right now.
Merry Christmas, Chris.
Thank you, Overt, for this beautiful Christmas beer.
Now, for clarity, when is their birthday?
This beer usually comes out in the summer, I think, or like
Yeah.
July, August, September, somewhere around that.
It's Christmas in July.
Well, so that's what I was trying to. I was going to try to kind of work our way backwards to July for Christmas in July.
Yeah, packaged on. Wait, which one's
6 is June.
Yeah, 6/23, which is basically rounded up to July.
Yeah.
Basically July. Yeah. That's July in dog years, so we're good.
Just because they bottled it doesn't mean they sold it until July.
That's true. That's very true. But no, this came in with a bunch of other awesome beers, which I'm still working my way through. This bi-weekly thing is really just, I don't know what to do with all these beers now. I don't know if I hold on to them and wait, or if I don't know. It's a mess. My life's a mess.
I hear you, and I have a New Year's cocktail too, so I'm like, I don't know what to do with all my beers for December.
Maybe Jordan does have the right idea where he just buys the beer that he needs for the next 3 days.
I mean, it's worked so far. I've been alive for 33 years. I have not been drinking for all of them, but it's been working for
at least
most
some of them.
Pretty
Some of
close, though.
Pretty close to all of them, though. Yeah.
The problem is that the three of us like buying beer more than we like drinking beer.
Oh, that's entirely true. I think I have a beer buying addiction. Like, I'm not an alcoholic, but I have a beer buying addiction. It's very...
Yeah, you have a problem with alcohol, and that's buying too much of it.
Yeah, my wife does not like this addiction. I think she'd rather me be an alcoholic.
That's like going to Vegas and you never gamble, but you just spend hours standing in front of the blackjack table watching.
Exactly.
Oh man. But this thing is very good. It's very sweet up front, which is expected with everything. I do get the chocolate pretty heavy, a little bit of the coffee. The vanilla and milk sugar adds a nice, sweetness and some, fullness to it. Get, some velvety smoothness. And then you do get hit at the end with the bourbon barrels. However, it's not overpowering at all. There's some things you have that are just oh, this is straight bourbon. Not quite in this. It's just a nice... flavor to end it off with. It flows extremely smooth. They know how to make this beer. They clearly do. They've been doing it for as long as I've been alive. Actually, not quite, because I think I'm technically, if the date is true, I'm technically older than the brewery, which is sad, but it's okay. But it is very good. I think I did a good job, pats on back, for waiting and taking it out early, because it's perfect drinking temp right now. 11%, which means I'm gonna get crunk here in a little bit, but but it's amazing beer. It's so good. I can't really find anything wrong with it. Again, this is 2 years in a row. Is it my favorite recurring beer? Maybe, possibly. It's so good. I do have the Rusty Nail too over there, so I gotta get that in the fridge. That's gotta come up soon. Maybe next Christmas.
Maybe next year I'll have to send you the whole 4-pack of the Black Butte, so then you can start your a 4-year vertical.
Ooh,
because that's what I did. Is I sent you guys 2. I sent you each one, and then I have 2 more. I don't think I drank them, so I'm saving one to have next year, and then one to have 2 years from now. So
nice. That's smart. They're. I mean, I don't know. They're real freaking good.
Wouldn't survive Jordan's house, but.
No. I think I've had one beer in my life. I had one beer I bought from Firestone Walker. There was a barley wine that I aged for 4 years, and then I drank it on my bachelor party. So that was an interesting one.
How was that?
Yeah.
It was good. It was pretty delicious. Yeah, it was great. It was a 16%. It was crazy. It was
barley wines are legit. I love them. But yeah. So, oh man, I wish I didn't. I wish I didn't cellar beers, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm an idiot. I don't know. I can't compel myself to drink them. I don't know.
I wish I could get around this whole thing that I have about not drinking my cellared beers, because I've got tons of barrels.
So many.
That I'm like, what do I do with them?
Yeah,
Just
you
send them
could
to
have-
my house. They'll be gone in
Yeah.
a week.
Well, that's the thing. Is like I always buy them, and I'm
He's
like, well, I can't wait to share this with somebody who likes beer. And then,
Right.
you know, the two people that I really know that really like beer are on this podcast, and they don't visit that often. So like,
No.
I've got these giant. This is what Obert doesn't. Well, I've got a Christmas gift for Obert for when he's back in town. Or maybe a few, but definitely two for each of these. I have like these like Magnum bottles that like I'm
There's
never
too
going
much.
to drink them.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do with it? I can't open it on my own.
Right. Yeah.
So like now I'm gonna have to get Obert plastered when he's back in Connecticut.
Oh,
I guess so.
Oh man, you
He's
hate
not
to see
making
it.
that train at 6 a.m. or whatever time his train is.
Oh. But anyways, getting back to my Black Butte. It's so freaking good. It's hard to me not I'm going to give it a 4.75. Like I really really like this beer. I don't know what it is about it cuz I think I gave it a 4.75 last year too.
I think you did. Yeah.
Like I just think it's phenomenal. I think they do such a good job with it. So, there it is. 4.75 Black
Have you
Butte,
had
34
any
for
other
Christmas.
Deschutes beers?
I have. I actually have. I'd have to look at my Untapped to tell you exactly which ones. I've had like their fresh squeezed. I've had their some of their IPAs. I think I bought like a mixed IPA pack maybe from them. That I got down here randomly. And then they don't do Rusty Nail. That's not them.
No, that's Fremont. Yeah.
Fremont does not Rusty Nail. I have another one, the Abyss, I believe, which is Deschutes in here.
Yeah.
So I've had a few of them, but this is like I think by far my favorite. Like I thought the other ones were good, but like I thought this was by far my favorite. I think I had the original Black Butte as well.
That's
I
all
don't
I've
know
ever had. I didn't even know they had an annual one of it. I mean, mostly because I probably heard you talk about it a year ago and I just forgot. So
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. I don't listen to me either. No, I don't know. It's just so good. I'm gonna give it a 4.75 again. I think it's deserving. I think it's very just a solid all around beer. I don't know. I like it. I like it a lot. So that's three dark beers for me tonight. Oops, all dark.
So who's got the Untapped? I guess it would be Jordan. Jordan, you got to pull it
Oh,
up.
am I supposed to do this? Oh man, I didn't know that it was like a rotating thing. Hold on, wait a second. All right,
I'll
so
tell you what. I'll check it
Chris is
myself.
going to check it.
yeah, all right. So let's see. What is the year of this one again?
Black Butte
34.
34.
XXXIV.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think it's in Roman numerals.
IV. Here we go. All right, cool. I got it.
Black Butte Ziv.
Ziviv. All right, so whenever you're ready.
So you got to tell them
I'm
how
ready.
many check-ins there are.
Oh,
Yeah. How many check-ins?
man,
are
what
there?
am I? It's like I've never done this.
He quits one podcast and
I know.
goddamn.
Yeah.
I just stopped.
Forgets how to do it.
Just falls
Yeah. So
apart.
did it wreck your childhood? Total check-ins looks like it's only like 1,000. Does that seem right? 1,000. That's it on the dot.
Did you
How is
click
that
on it?
possible?
You gotta click on it. You
Yeah,
gotta click
I
on
clicked
it,
on it.
and then it said 1,000. Oh wow, that's still low.
Yeah.
it's about what I. No,
I mean, a lot of
expected
people probably save these.
Sorry, 1,022.
Oh, how dare you?
I know. I
Well,
missed
that's
those
good.
22
That
people.
changes the math a little
Changes
bit.
things.
Oh wow,
I know.
I'm
Yeah,
over here.
Yeah.
I already started my calculations and everything. I don't know. I know it's not as high as me. I know that's not possible. If it is, congrats to Deschutes because it's the highest rating I've ever seen on Untappd. But I think it's gonna be high. I don't think it'll break 4.5 though. But it'll be, I think, in the 4. Damn, I'm trying to think. Is it that good? Am I just like
How great would it be
taste
if it
buds
was like
blind?
3.12?
I know. That's what I'm
The
afraid. of.
lowest of the podcast.
Yeah, I'm afraid. It's like nope. It's actually a 3.2. You lose a point.
This year we accidentally mixed raw sewage in with the barrels.
But it only affected all but one bottle. I mean, I want to guess something insanely high, but what's cut off by right now? I gotta see if I can play defense.
0.13. Yeah.
0.1. Ooh, that's actually not. I'll play a little bit of defense. I think. I think I just gotta.
I think you got to go with 3.12. That's just. I mean, that's really the only option.
Safe guess. Safe guess.
4.99.
You know what? I want to. No, I'm gonna play the game the way I want it to. I'm gonna go with what my gut says.
I don't think you should.
No, I'm gonna give it a 4. I think they've given it a 4.42, which I know is high, but
It is a 4.16.
Oh my God, so far off. Oh my God, damn.
It's a lot lower than I thought it would be.
Even if I played it safe, I wasn't gonna get it then. Like,
Yeah.
there was no way. That's crazy to me.
I'm
Last
glad that
year's
you
was-
like this one so much.
Because last year's was only a 4.09. So this is
I don't know why-
higher than last year's.
Apparently this beer is made for me. Just exactly for me.
I have to try mine.
Moving to Bend, Oregon, just for this beer.
I am. Deschutes, listen, if it weren't so expensive to live in Oregon, and I also didn't like buy a house, etc., blah blah blah, but like all that other stuff too. But like, damn, wow, I feel defeated. I really do. This is it's not deserving of that. This beer's so good.
Well, that's all that matters is what you think of it, right?
No,
Because like the tally
we have
mark
a
is all
whole
that
scoreboard
matters.
about it.
Oregon people just expect more, I guess.
All these dumb
Oregonians.
people. I'm gonna start bashing people on Tap. Be like, you dummy.
Just start
You're an idiot.
DMing people who rated it under a 4. Hey, I saw your check-in from 8 months ago, and I wanted to tell you you're wrong.
Wait, did I didn't even wait, 33, right?
34.
I didn't even check it in. No, I'm sorry.
Last
Hold on.
year's,
Yeah, I didn't even check it in.
you were just so blown away with how
it was
good it was.
32. I gave it a 4.5, and it was a 4.21. So I don't know what they did. I don't know what they did over the last 2 years. But stop it. Go back.
So you're missing a year. You're missing the 33.
Yeah, I guess I didn't get. I don't know if I didn't get the 30. I must not have, because
Yeah.
there's no way I was going to get it. So,
I don't think I got the 32 or the 33.
well,
I'm
I need
gonna
them
file-
all now.
I'm gonna
because
file a
this is
complaint with the
With
I
me,
think
Missing
this is
all 34.
My favorite
with the
beer to come
deliverer
out
of the
annually
beers.
now.
all right. So I guess that
I like
means
it.
that Tud. I don't know. We were playing by the rules he set last week. A 0.13 wouldn't count.
No. I had competition
But
this week though.
you know, I think we'll let
Well,
it
hold
slide.
on. How far was I off by? I was off by a lot. Was
Yeah.
it
You're
off by
4.2
28.28?
0.26.
0.26? Yeah, because you said 4.4, right?
And Tud said something.
Yeah, Tud said a 3.81, and it was a 3.68. I think.
Yeah.
And I said a 3.89, and mine was a 3.87. So you have that 0.02
It's
over there,
fine.
right?
It's fine.
Yeah.
You have that.
mean-
You have that, right?
So
If you
All
go
right.
by,
tally mark
listen.
champ over here.
I listen. I was gonna make the point that Obert went with the 22 release, which is un-Obert like. I don't know why. When I only saw the original one, but anyways, it's fine.
It was the only one that pulled up for me. So
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
That's,
Conspiracy theories.
them's the way the cookie crumbles.
Hey, listen, because if I would have told you 11,000, you probably would have been like, eh.
yeah, no, I assumed that this was like an advent calendar specific beer.
Maybe it's
Just
possible.
bad.
The other one may have come in a bottle as you know, we all thought German beers come in. This is
Yeah.
they decided to throw it in a can for some reason.
Add another.
Yeah, they don't have
Add another
aluminum in
asterisk.
Germany.
No aluminum.
He's the Barry Bonds of
they
he's the
don't
Barry
have
Bonds
canning
of tally
lines.
marks.
All right, so Tud, honk, 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 honk.
Wait,
man
we
of
need
the people.
Jordan to honk. I mean, he's
You want me to do the honk, 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 honk.
I like how he laughs
There
in
we
the
go.
same spot as he does. In the
exactly.
It's because you
how
guys
it
have
goes.
played it so much, it's like in my head
I
now,
honestly
and I know
thought
where the
someone-
cue is.
I thought someone played it. Like
I did
that's
too.
how
I was
good it
like, damn, like he's quick with that drop that he had.
Yeah, you know it.
So yeah, I guess Jordan is gonna now a live performance of the Frosty Mug of Wisdom song.
do.
Mug of
I
Wisdom.
can't do it. I can't. As you know, I had to yell. I had to whisper, scream it.
But now you're in your own house. Like you could
Yeah.
scream mug of
I
wisdom.
don't think my wife or my dog would be very happy about that right now.
That's your safe word for when tornadoes are coming. You just shout "Mug of Wisdom."
More mug of wisdom.
That's how everybody knows to get to the
Yeah,
the
exactly.
centrally located
exactly.
bathroom, right? Mm-hmm. But okay, so for real though, we're gonna play the song now.
Test your handle. Test your handle. Test your handle. Test your handle.
Mug of wisdom.
Drink.
Mug of Wisdom.
Okay, thanks, Jordan. Formerly of Wreck
You're
My
welcome.
Podcast.
Never before have we been able to get a you're welcome from it.
Yeah.
An in-person welcome. Have I not been on the show since I gave you guys that drop?
No, he has.
That can't be.
I
right.
have
That's-
been. I have
yeah,
to have been.
It's
Yeah,
true.
that was
Yeah.
we've been using that for
I
like
think
3
we
years.
probably even made this joke before about him being
Probably.
You're welcome.
It sounds familiar. It sounds. Yeah, go check out Wreck My Podcast in its grave.
Yeah.
In memoriam.
Where else can people find you? Just,
So my
nowhere's-
Instagram handle is BS and craft beer. That's pretty much all I'm doing these days.
There we go. You could see.
Bottle
Yeah.
service and craft beer. I like it.
Yeah, blood, sweat, and craft beer.
Nice.
Yeah, because I'm cool like that.
So Ted, Frosty mug, 4 handles this week.
Frosty
Pulling
mug.
it out, filling it up,
Yep.
wisdomy goodness, all that stuff. Sugar, spice, everything nice. Some peppermint, whipped cream, all that Christmas stuff.
I don't want
But,
any of this in my mug.
I thought we were at Starbucks now. All of a sudden. Though this is your holiday mocha frap latte, but
Yeah, it's not pumpkin season anymore, unfortunately.
gotta have the crushed candy cane lines on top to snort.
I
up.
will say that the peppermint chip milkshake from Chick-fil-A is delicious. So go check
also
that out
heard-
for a drink.
I've also heard advertisements of Madison saying it's her favorite Chick-fil-A. Did you guys see those commercials where it's like
Yeah.
they say their name?
Yep.
Like, who is this? Why do I care?
That's kind of what I was driving at earlier when I was asking Obert if there was cinnamon or nutmeg in his drink, because that's the new Geico commercial where the gecko brings
the cookie.
the
and it's
cookies
like,
over.
They're biscuits. Yeah, it's my mom's recipe.
Yeah. It's like, what's in it? Cinnamon? It's my mom's secret recipe.
Welcome
I
to the
have
part of
not
the show
seen
where
that
we
Geico
quote
one.
advertisements.
Yeah. This is how I Christmas feel when people quote movies, because I just don't watch commercials anymore. But okay, Frosty mug to Tud. Tud, what do you got? Who are you handing? Who's handling?
Yeah, so usually I would pick on Chris, given that, it's just fun to do. But Jordan's here, so we have to pick on Jordan first.
Yes, pick on me. Okay, so my handle is a suggestion of something you can get on your phone. Have you ever wanted to watch a movie or a TV show and you thought, where can I stream this movie or TV show?
Actually,
All the
then-
time, Jordan.
They have an app for you, but actually, if you're thinking that, just don't think about it. Instead, go to the App Store and download Marvel Snap instead, because that's a game that I am going to recommend for my Mug of Wisdom this week.
Nice little curveball.
So check out Marvel Snap. Actually, I'm not usually a fan of iOS games, but I really, really like this game. Have you guys played it at all?
I've
Never even
seen
heard
a
of it.
little bit of it on Twitch. Is it free to play?
It is free to play. You definitely can get along a lot faster if you do the in-app transactions and all that in-app
little bit of
purchases.
pay to win. Yeah.
Yeah, but I haven't paid yet. So what I like about this is it's kind of like Hearthstone, but I was never very good at Hearthstone. And the reason is because in Hearthstone, it's pretty much power versus power, right? Like you're trying to defend the king is really what you're doing. In this game, it's almost like King of the Hill, but there's 3 hills. So it's like any digital card game where you collect cards, you build your deck, and then you play against other people online. And then when you play, you have 3 locations, and then you get 6 turns, and every turn you get like a new card from your deck, and each card has a power point system and a power system. So you have to like pay your points over the 6 turns and then put points. Now you put these cards in 3 different spots, and the way you win is if whoever has the most power in 2 of the 3 spots wins. So you don't have to have the accumulative most power. You just have to be strategic and win 2 of the 3 locations. So that's what I like about this game, is because there's a lot more strategy in it than rather just like who has the most power and who can figure out how to like kill the person first. I've played probably like 60 or 70 games, and I've only lost 2. So I'm
Whoa.
doing pretty good, I think, on this one.
And that's
Or I'm just
PvP
playing-
numbers?
PvP numbers, yeah, because you can
Ooh,
only
wow.
play other people. There's no like computer play or anything on this. It's all online.
So you have to outsmart other people.
Yes. So this is just more along the strategy I like to play, because each location too has like on reveal has like these special powers. Like some of them may be like all your cards have -5 points on this one, but you don't get to see them right away. They get revealed as the game goes on. So you could be risky and play a location that you don't know what their power is, and then maybe it's a negative power, and then you've kind of hurt yourself. So it's really kind of like, how risky do you want to be? How conservative do you want to be? So yeah, I think it's just a really, really fun game. It's pretty addictive, and it's Marvel based. I mean, so it's like I got the Iron Man card, and then here's, you know, Black Domino and stuff. Like it's fun. So I would recommend it. It's definitely really big with everyone right now, and I think it's going to fizzle out pretty fast, but it's fun for right now.
Yeah, I like the digital card games because you can do so much more than like an IRL game with like, you know, pulling things from discard piles and draw piles and stuff like you just simply couldn't do in real life. And I've been playing a lot of Slay the Spire. That was a Kiwi handle, but I haven't checked this one out. I don't love the PvP aspect of it because a lot of times I just want to like take a turn when I want to and not like on demand, right?
I feel a little bad sometimes because I'll be in the middle of a match and my wife will start talking to me, and so I just kind of stop playing and I talk to her, and I'm like, this person's probably so pissed off right now. Like, I haven't played my card.
Oh, is there no time limit to turns either?
No, I haven't seen one. No, I've sat there for like 5 minutes and haven't played a card. They can retreat, and I'm like, maybe that's a strategy. If you're not doing great or don't have a good hand, just wait for them to get bored. Yeah.
That's funny. Yeah. But no, I'll have to check that one out. Marvel Snap.
So yeah, if you come across me, my name is Richard Smalls, Dick Smalls. So look out for me on Marvel Snap.
He'll be the really good player that leaves you sitting there for like 20 minutes one time.
68
exactly.
and 2. And we know that he just timed everybody out on the ones he would have lost.
Pretty much. It's a waiting game, guys. All right, so I'm gonna throw it over to Obert because it's Christmas, so I'm giving Chris time. So Obert, I'm gonna throw it over to you.
Yeah, I'll follow that up with the cell phone game that I've been playing lately. Also free to play, kind of maybe pay to win, but not quite. And that's it's a new disc golf video game I've been playing called Disc Golf Valley. I think it's called. I'll load it up here, but basically it's like any ball golf game you've played, you know, on the computer or your phone or whatever, but with discs. And I've never found one that I really liked before. I haven't really looked. Yeah, Disc Golf Valley is the name of it. But I've sunk a considerable amount of time into it over the last couple days. Unlocked a lot of courses, bunch of discs. I really like the mechanism of how you know, as you get more and more stars by like getting a certain amount of strokes under par, you unlock better and better discs. So it really, really lets you grow your skill. And as you unlock these harder and harder courses, you're like, oh, okay, I'm feeling capable of actually doing it, because there is a good amount of skill involved in the game of like knowing how to angle the disc and where to aim and how to play with the wind that I find probably exists in ball golf games like Tiger Woods games or whatever too, but I've never gotten into. My only gripe with the game is like some of them it's like, okay, finish 9 under par on this 9-hole course, and I'll get 7 holes in, like birdieing every single hole, and then hole 8 I'll bogey and then just like want to throw my phone against the wall. It's just too long without like a save point. You know what I mean? Like I can't play perfect for 9 holes. It's just too much.
You gotta get good.
Exactly. And I'm working on it. So Disc Golf Valley, free, iOS, Android. I think you can pay for it on Steam if you're a weirdo, but no ads. I think there's like one ad for the actual, like tied in with an actual disc golf disc company. They have ads for them, but they supplement it by having in-app purchases where you can buy like the OP discs and stuff. And one thing that's nice about it is you can buy discs that'll support real pros. So like certain, and I don't know if I don't follow like the professional disc golf scene, but like you can support your own disc golf pros that you like by buying their discs in the app, which is a fun tie-in.
It's pretty cool.
Yep. So
where can you watch some professional disc golf?
I don't know.
ESPN the Ocho?
I was in a
that's actually Nuevo.
Yeah, right. Ocho Dos. They couldn't fit it on the first ESPN 8. I was in a used ski and mountain bike shop this summer looking for some used skis, and they had disc golf on the TV, and I was like,
Nice.
and like this guy just is like in the secondhand gear store just watching disc golf on TV all day. So I don't know. You'll have to ask him, or you can
I wish
find
I
it.
had that level of like sport fandom that disc golf
Right?
did it for me.
Yeah, I love niche sports.
I've
They're
been
fun
watching
to
a lot of
watch.
tag recently,
Yeah.
Yeah?
It's
like
Freeze?
professional tag.
What was trampoline basketball called back in the day?
Oh, I
Slam-
remember that.
Slam ball.
Slam
okay.
ball.
Yeah, I've been
Yeah.
really loving some slam ball lately.
Professional tag's fun to watch. Those guys, the rounds only last like 30 seconds. It's great.
Is this a real thing?
This is, I swear to God, it's on ESPN2. You know,
Do you
just
have a favorite tagger?
nope, not a clue. It's just interesting to watch these guys run around. And it's on like a parkour obstacle course, so they're like parkouring around as they try to like run away and tag each other.
Who comes up with this shit? And then who?
There's like
I want to know who comes up with it. I also want to know who sells it to ESPN as like.
There's
you know
also
what
a
people
professional
watch.
pickleball league starting.
Well, that's like a real sport with like scoring and stuff. I could see that a little bit more than tag.
I'd be like, all right, in the boardroom, I could see now, like, all right, you guys, Extreme Red Rover.
Yeah, that'd be more fun than tag. I think.
I'm telling you, after this, I'm gonna give you guys a link to some professional tag to watch because you should be as entertained as I am.
Wait, is like the NFL, is professional football or rugby just glorified Red Rover?
Oh, totally, 100%.
Oh, for sure.
It's kind of like
Red
the same
Rover
idea.
with pads. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, especially rugby when they do the whole like everybody locks up and then they have to push each other.
The scrum.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought it
that
was
just
called the
clicked for me.
Scrib. I was going to say the Scrib.
The Scrimble Bumble, you know.
The Scribloo. The Wimbledy Doobity Dobbity Bop.
Okay, Ted, who's going next?
Yeah, so I'll go next. My handle will be a movie. Not a bad movie. It's not a wreck your
Well,
childhood
then
movie.
I don't care.
But this is as we talked about, you have to watch good movies from now on.
And The Money Pit. You have to watch The Money Pit.
And the Money Pit, yes.
And The Money Pit. This movie is on Netflix. Recently released, called Bullet Train. So, Jordan, you're shaking your head like you've already seen it potentially.
I watched 20 minutes of it. That's all I got.
So you didn't like it then?
I actually thought it was good. Just my wife was getting bored, and I was also like, this movie seems like Quentin Tarantino, like his ADD riddled younger brother wrote a movie. So I just looked up the synopsis of it because I get what they're going for. There's a lot of fast dialogue that's witty with neon colors and some violent scenes. I get what we're going for.
I liked it. I mean, I thought it was good.
Yeah.
It's kind of in the same vein as like the Kinsman movies or Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Thank you for Jason for those recommendations as like movies that are like it. Because I've never seen either one of those. So, but I will be going to check those out. But like, it was really cool. It stars Brad Pitt and some other big name actors that kind of pop in along the way, which is interesting. So I won't ruin that.
It's a fun ensemble cast. Yeah.
Yeah.
It
So
is.
what it is basically there's just this retiring assassin who's got like one more job left before he's done, and he gets on a bullet train in Japan to steal a briefcase, and all hell breaks loose. And so the entire movie takes place on a bullet train in Japan, running from some city to Tokyo or to Kyoto.
Maybe from
And-
Tokyo to Kyoto. We don't know.
Yeah, because I
Maybe.
think they were on their way to Kyoto. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty unique. I think it's even directed by the guy who directed The Kinsman, so it's even more just out of that same brain. Like Jordan said, a lot of bright colors, kind of some good witty dialogue. It's considered an action comedy. It's only I think it's under 2 hours. I recommend it. I thought it was one of the best movies I've watched this year. I was not expecting anything going into the movie, and then to come out and go, "Oh, this was really good." Complete surprising to me. Jordan, I recommend that if you've ever got some time to finish watching it, I think you will enjoy it.
I'm definitely going to, because it was holding my interest and I was laughing a lot, and I was just like, when we're watching movies together, I don't want to watch anything that's like, we're both not invested in. So there's a lot of times where like I'll stop a movie and I'll just go back and revisit it later. I'll say that like the lemon and tangerine like scenes with them together,
Oh, yeah.
I was just cracking up so much. So I'm like, this movie is definitely my sense of humor, and I like how it was laid out very much like Kill Bill style of like introducing characters, but like when you get introduced to them, you see their backstory backstory and then you come back to the point you were and stuff.
Yep.
It was a very cool concept there.
I like that. That's a good way of describing that too. The whole Kill Bill style introduction. And yeah, the lemon tangerine scene at the beginning is
So good.
is great.
So good. I love Aaron Taylor Johnson. So I mean, the fact that he was in this movie, I was like, this is cool.
And when he brings out the sticker book of the Thomas the Tank Engine trains.
Oh, he's a diesel. It's great. It's just the weirdest humor. I love it. It's funny.
It's worth it. Ober, I think you will really enjoy it. Chris,
yeah,
I know you're never going to watch it, so
I really
It's a weird
wanted
movie,
to
but it's
see
great.
it. I really wanted to see it in theaters. Very sad I didn't, but I did watch it right after it came out of theaters. And
okay, so you have seen it.
yeah. I didn't want to interrupt your flow, but I agree with everything that you and Jordan have said. And
I was
it's-
shocked. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
It's a movie that I would like to watch again because, like you said, it's so fast paced that like things are happening. You're just trying to take it all in. It'd be fun to watch it again, knowing some of the plot points and kind of like how it ends to see, okay, wait, what were the things I missed as we got to there, you know?
Yeah. I kind of got a little bit of everything and everywhere all at once vibes from it too. Like it seemed to cover the whole spectrum. It was fantastic. Chris, all three of us are recommending that you spend less than 2 hours of your life to watch this movie. And Jordan's only seen 20 minutes of it.
Yeah, and I could see that it was going to be, with the 20 minutes that I enjoyed, I could see it was going to be a good movie. So it's still on my Netflix list, and I got to go back. Just like, there's so many movies where this happens, where like I start watching, I'm like, I'm gonna get around to it. It's just not gonna happen tonight, you know.
Yeah. I would elevate this one to be like something sooner rather than later for you.
Tomorrow at my work lunch, I'll watch it tomorrow.
There you go.
Chris, you should watch the first 20 minutes of it. That's my recommendation.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I can recommend at this point.
Yeah.
It seems like a pretty high ask. So
Yeah, I
Just
think
take
20
one
minutes.
shower,
Yeah.
put it on.
Yeah,
There you
a
go.
shower's worth.
when am I supposed to watch YouTube?
You got too much YouTube backlog to
I
to
do.
get through.
So
no time
our
for
new shower
movies.
sucks. I can't take a long shower. It sucks. I hate it. I barely can watch YouTube anymore.
He only gets through like 5 pizza reviews now.
Oh, I'm so far behind on everything. Pokemon cards, all the Pokemon videos coming out. I can't keep up.
All right, well, what Pokemon card YouTube handle do you have for us this week?
I actually don't have one. I have a book series recommendation. I know.
Now, see, rather than read,
Wow.
you should watch this movie.
Yeah, who's going to waste their time reading when you could do something educational like watch
Well,
a
I mean,
movie?
to be
If
fair,
movies were invented
it's-
first, books would never exist.
Bullet Train is based off of historical events.
Yeah.
But a friend of mine turned me on to the Dresden Files. Have you guys read these or heard of these or anything?
Mm-mm.
I've heard of this, yeah.
Ober has? Okay. So it's a series by Jim Butcher, who is friends with Patrick Rothfuss, which is how all this came about, because I said I was a big fan of Name of the Wind, et cetera, blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh, you should check out this series. This guy actually puts out books, which is a novel idea. Pat, if you're listening, probably.
Or George. I'm going to yell at George, too, while we're here. We'll take
I
the
mean,
shot.
we might as well.
George Lucas?
No.
Yes.
George R.R. Martin.
George Takai?
All Georges.
But essentially, Harry Dresden, who is the main character, is a modern day, which I think is pretty cool, modern day wizard, and he works as like a kind of like a wizard for hire, and it often works with like the special investigation group with the local police department and stuff like that outside of or inside Chicago. So it's like really neat. Like a lot of the stuff that he's been, I'm like 20 minutes from the end of book 2, out of like 18. There's like a lot. There's a lot of books. But I'm really enjoying them so far. It's really fun. Like having like a more modern twist of like, wizards in today's society, in today's world. And, he deals with like a bunch of other like werewolves and vampires and all of that jazz. So, and one thing I like about the books, outside of like they are good books, they're good audio books if you go that route, which is what I do. We've talked about that before, but like they're like not overly, they're like 8 to 18 hours. They're not like super long books like some of the other books that I've listened to that are like 27, 32 hours.
You're talking about Audible books. Okay.
Audible books. Yeah, audiobooks. Yeah. I don't know how many pages that equates to. So many pages. But
Chris doesn't read with his eyes, just his ears.
Yeah, just my ears. But I'm really enjoying them. They're really, really cool. There's some fun characters. The predicaments he gets himself in, etc. Like the good stories.
Do the stories all connect, or can you read them out of order?
So far, now mind you, I'm on book 2. But so far they do play into one another, but you could probably get the gist from a standalone story. Like if you start, if I started with book 2, they touch on what happened in book 1, but they don't it doesn't there's some characters that recur and things like that.
It'd be like, can you watch James Bond movies in any order? Yeah. You might not know who Q is the first time you see him, but you get the gist.
Well, I'm kind of thinking of like what James Patterson does, the whole Alex Cross series books, where you can basically read them in any order.
Right. So far, I would recommend reading them in order, but again, I'm only 2 books in, so who knows? But I think he does a good job of kind of laying it so it's kind of its own story versus relying on the history of the first book. But like Ober was saying, you might lose a few things here and there, why is this person pissed at him or whatever. But he does a pretty good job of recapping without doing a full blown previously on the Dresden Files, But no, I'm enjoying them so far. I'm happy that I got turned on to them because I was looking for something new to listen to. And like I said, there's a ton of them. So right now, there's actually 16 out right now, and the 18th one is scheduled for release. So it's plenty of catching up to do. So, but check it out, The Dresden Files by Jim Butcher. You can find them anywhere on Libby if you have the Libby app. That's what I've been using. So
nice.
There you go. Previous handle of Obert from many millennia ago.
Way back in the archives.
Yeah. So check it out. I highly recommend it. Good times.
So with that, we'd like to thank you all for listening. I will thank Tice Natcher 1543 for their Festmarzen.
I'd like to thank Obert and Deschutes Brewing for my Christmas present, Black Butte 34.
I'm going to thank Alton Brown for the eggnog recipe and myself for making it.
And I'm going to thank Anchor Steam and the Gift of Trees. Or not Anchor Steam, Anchor Brewing and the Gift of Trees.
Please make sure you head over to social media and follow us everywhere at DAWF Podcast. Also make sure you follow the email at dawfpodcast@gmail.com. Also make sure you head over to Discord, join the live conversation over there, and head over to Patreon for as little as $1 a month or whatever it breaks down to per week. You can join and get some extra episodes of Drinking Alone with Friends over there. The pregame episode, they're 20-minute pregame episodes where one of us will drink a beer and we'll talk about it. Jordan is actually a subscriber, or used to be a subscriber. He may not be
anymore. I still am.
Okay.
I still am.
He may not be anymore. He still is. So he's
That's
familiar with
should
the
I call
pregame.
out my guest live on the air about not being a patron anymore?
I'm in. This is all done live. And finally head over to your favorite podcast app, leave us a 5-star rating and a review, and make sure you're telling your friends and your family if you like craft beer and if they like craft beer, or if they just want to hear 3 or 4 funny people all sit on a podcast for about an hour and to discuss beer and other things. Jordan, tell us a little bit about, you kind of already told us your Instagram handle, but tell us anything that you would like to tell us. Or
you can still go check out all the old Wreck My Podcast material on YouTube. We got rid of our hosting, so you can't get it on the audio version anymore, but YouTube's free, so we just left it all up there. So if you want to go check out Wreck My Podcast and see our sweaty, glowing faces as we talk about movies that usually make us mad and angry, we'll do.
Perfect
and maybe
for your
one
next
day,
shower.
What was that?
Perfect for your next shower.
Yeah, there you go. If you need an hour of shower content. They call us the Shower Power Hour.
Yeah.
There you go.
Trademark that. Yeah.
Yeah, so go check that out. And maybe we'll have new episodes coming out in 2 years when I forget how hard it is to wrangle my friends into doing a podcast.
Well, thanks for coming on this week, Jordan.
Yes,
Appreciate
thank
you
you
as
for
always.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's always fun. It's always fun hanging out with you guys. Sometimes, I listen to your podcast and I think of funny little quips I want to interject and I don't get to do it. And now I get to do it. So for better or for worse.
Yeah. That's what the Discord is for. People give us like, here's the joke you should have told, and we're like, yeah, that was much better than anything that we said.
And then we ban them.
Yeah, my biggest thing was when people would reach out to me and be like referencing something in a podcast and be like, I don't remember what you're talking about.
That's
the
true.
problem.
Yeah.
We have such a backlog now. Like someone's like, "Oh man, I'm catching up in this," and I'm like, "That was 3 years ago."
Yeah,
was
I
like,
can't.
I don't. Thank you for listening, but I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, with that, my name's Todd.
My name's Chris.
My name's Obert.
And I'm Jordan. And remember, when you're drinking alone, do it with friends.
And Merry Christmas, everybody.
Oh yeah.
Merry
Ho, ho, ho.
Christmas.
Merry Crim'mas.
Merry Crim'mas.
Enjoy your Advent beers.
What's the evil Santa?
Krampus.
Krampus.
Also,
Just go oh instead.
instead of Krampus in boots. I think that's a crossover they should do.
There we go.
There you go.
Krampus in boots.
Next holiday special.
Yeah.
Get Antonio Banderas on board for that. But let's try.